All right, we're going to call to order the City Council meeting of Thursday, September 12th, 2024 to order. Please stand for a pledge of allegiance and a prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please bow your head for a moment of silence and prayer. Amen.
Hey, Mr. Barnes.
Present.
Mr. Crowley.
Here.
Mr. Hartzell.
Here.
Mr. Levchuk.
Here.
Mr. Pulcini.
Here.
Mr. Winslow.
Here.
Mr. Madden.
Here. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given pursuant to Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. We're going to go into reports from the mayor and the administration. George, Jay?
Yes, thank you, Pete. Just a couple of them. Tonight's agenda is include ordinance that will help us acquire more parking for the downtown. Frank will provide more detail in his bond ordinance presentation, but this is a great opportunity to take care of our police department while the public safety building is under construction and to provide public parking long term. Our pool contractor expects to complete work on the main and decking drains by the weekend, and replacement of the sprinkler heads and lights and plastering of the pool will be next. The HVAC work at the library remains on schedule with reopening by next Friday. The Marion Park Flood Mitigation Project is still on target to have pumping stations operating by the end of October. Crews will be working tomorrow and next week to make connections underneath Roosevelt Boulevard. Please be cautious in that area. There'll be lanes, shifts will be in effect. I also want to thank everybody for the 9/11 ceremony yesterday. Chief Campbell, Bernie, Chief Walker, and Brian Green. You guys were there last night. It's why it's so difficult, really, to get people to speak at 9/11 because it is so emotional for so many people. And TV, I probably just didn't do it justice, but I think Brian did a great job, and for the time that he was up there and what he has seen, it was really an emotional thing. We had our final boardwalk flag raising ceremony on 9/11 too. I want to thank Jack Hagan and American Legion for help that he provides with the daily flag raising and other events through the year. Schools are back in session, so I want everybody to be careful out on the roads. Kids are all over the place. On Saturday, October 19th at 10 o'clock at the Tabernacle, I am going to have a town hall meeting with project updates, timelines, and we're going to talk about trash, recycling, and just anything else that's on people's mind. And then this weekend, we have our air shows. The Airport Festival is at 10 to 3 Saturday. Mr. Madden's going to jump out of a plane by himself, so see ya.
See ya.
And then on 8 o'clock, which is pretty cool on the boardwalk, they jump out of the plane, they look like they're all lit up, and it's pretty cool. And then Sunday is the air show. And my understanding is if we're dance without Atlantic City or something like that, apparently ours will be a little better now. So that starts at 1 o'clock on Sunday. So that's all I have.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move into citizen comment. And we're going to have 3 minutes based on the number of people signed up. And James, excuse me, sir, you mind taking the call outside? If you're going to have to take a call, take it outside, please. Thank you. All right, we're going to start with Charles Steele.
Charles Steele, 2837 Central Avenue. This has to do with a problem, and I sent an email to Jay and an email to Dave, and I think he supposedly talked to George about this. On August 31st, we had some unruly underage crowds on 29th Street Beach, approximately around 10:30 at night. And what happened, they were drinking and disturbing the neighborhood, and eventually the police did come out, but there was only 2 cars. There was approximately 50 to 100 cars that came out, 50 to 100 kids that were out there. And eventually they broke them up, but they came back and came down our alleyway, which is between 29th and 28th, and they were picking on some of the neighbors and trying to start some fights. And this one kid that was really out of it from drinking actually called out one of the cops and said, "I need your badge number, and why are you detaining me?" And the problem here, this has been going on throughout the whole summer as far as the activity on the beach after a certain hours. Dick Wydell, who was a neighbor of mine across the way from me, has also sent emails to David about this. So this has been going on. It hasn't been a one incident. And of course, we don't have any problems now. But my concern is, in the future, what has happened, you have pushed those kids down to our neighborhood, and now the neighbors were fearful that night that they would come back and key their cars. So now we're living in fear because of these kids, and all of a sudden, we're not having the public safety that we should have. I've been in that neighborhood for over 42 years. This is the first time we've had a major problem like this. Now, if this happened to your neighborhood, you would be upset about it. And what my concern is, I know the first thing everybody's going to say, well, it's a state issue. Well, I've gone to the state about other things with the bikes and things, and those representatives said, no, it's a local incident. It's just like going like this, if I can use both hands. So, but it's frustrating, and I'm sure it's frustrating on your part, but at the same time, we should have at least, we're not alone in this issue. We have other towns, and it's not a Republican or Democratic thing. This is a problem throughout the state. I'm sure in the summertime, it's happening in every town. And I would recommend that the council get together with other towns and form a committee or something and try to get something solid to go after these underage kids, at least detain them for overnight until their parents pick them up, you know, under whatever charges, if it's possible. The other issue is, you know, maybe surveillance, that maybe they could put a camera up on the telephone pole and basically see what activity is happening. And there's a telephone pole right there at end of 29th Street that they could do that. That would be a temporary solution. But my concern is that it's not getting any better, it's just getting worse. And when people have fear about damage, and of course...
Chuck, thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it, but we'll talk more about it.
Yeah, that's the main thing, so.
Thank you.
I'd like to hear what kind of solutions you're coming up with.
Thank you, Chuck. Steve? Steve?
Patrick, if I could, my wife speak to me, and I'll speak in her spot. I got a little tickle, I'm trying to...
Sure.
see the call.
Kath,
If that's
and
okay.
go ahead. Kathy, that's fine.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kathy Petrin. I live at 3324 Haven Avenue. I'm right across the street from the Compass Building. I have a signed petition here of over 100 neighbors around the Compass Building who are opposed to the antennas being put on a two-story building at 29 feet high. These antennas will be directly across from our second-floor deck. The closest neighbor, who has 4 small children, will have those antennas 40 feet from his children's bedroom window, 40 feet. We strongly oppose the antennas being put on the Compass Building. It makes better sense to put them behind the ball field at 120 feet high compared to the Compass Building at 29 feet high, with residents that live there all the time compared to the ball field, which people come and go, and is seasonal a few months out of the year. We are asking you to please do the right thing for the residents around the Compass Building and vote to put them behind the ball field. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tim?
My name's Tim Schmidt. I'm 3336 West Avenue. I just want to reiterate what Kathy just said about the tower, and I think it's incumbent upon you guys to make sure that it doesn't go on the Compass Building because of the safety of the children. That's all I have.
Thank you. Steve, you ready?
Yeah. Thank you, appreciate that.
No problem.
Steve Petrin, 3324 Haven Avenue. I am also here for the same reason. A couple of points I would like to make. The issues with the Verizon tower at the Compass Building haven't gone away. It's still the same height. It's still 29 feet from the closest bedroom. It's on the same plane as the second floor decks and the second floor bedrooms of young children. There's absolutely no reason to put it there. The ball field's a 120 feet high tower. At 120 feet, no one is going to be impacted by that because the cone of a 4 and 5G spreads out as it goes farther. So anyone directly underneath it is not even going to be affected by it. So also the ball players are there for 1 to 2 hours a couple times a week. we live there 24/7. Not all of us. We're here from April till the end of November. So basically here all year round. That cell tower would affect us for sure. It will, I will ask that all you guys to vote yes for the tower. The reason being, if that bedroom behind the Compass building had your grandchildren or your kids, they're going to be impacted by that all the time, on a full-time basis. People who come, and listen, I have nothing but the utmost respect for the kids in the ball field. I take my grandkids over there, and I won't stop if it goes up behind the ball fields. There's no risk at 120 feet. But at 29 feet, that's a big risk. So please, please, I'm asking all of you to make the right choice. Put it behind there. This will alleviate the cell code dispute with everyone. Everyone can go home happy. We can put an end to this. We've been fighting this for a year and a half. There's a reason we've been fighting it for a year and a half. It's because it's potentially dangerous to kids on a full-time basis. So please, everybody, take a moment, do a little bit of research if you haven't done it already, and make the right choice. Put it up 120 feet. It's not going to affect anybody. It's not going to look terrible. And we'll all live happily ever after. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill? You cross your name off? You're okay. James?
My name is James Harris, 3314 Haven Avenue in Ocean City. I'm here exactly like my neighbors have just said. We don't want that tower going straight into those small children's bedroom. It belongs somewhere like the new proposed site at 120 feet, not, and it's 20 feet according to the schematic I have here. Top of the proposed screening is 21 feet at the Compass building. Put it up 125 feet, but here's the other thing, we want some transparency. Could you please tell us the fine print in this detail so we can make an informed decision? And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nelson?
Thank you. Corey is the project I'm working on.
I'm Nelson of the tribe of Asher, Central Avenue. I haven't been here in a couple months. I've been traveling to do some research in order to help free America a little bit more. And I just ask everyone to do their own research, test what anyone says, and come to your own conclusions. Who's responsible for making sure our public servants have an official oath of office subscribed under Article 6, Clause 3 of the Constitution of the United States? Is it the solicitor? Is it the council? Is it the people? Is it the mayor? Is it the judge? Can anybody answer that question? I admire this gentleman here. That's what we all go through. It doesn't have to be this way. The buck stops where? I actually think it might stop at council. Now, the mayor could, but then you get to override. Amendment 7 to the Constitution of the United States has been buried deeply, and that's because it's literally, we're incapable of benefiting by it. Anyone here can request from Open Public Records any emails I have sent to Mr. Madden. He gets all of them. In those, you will find that I have proven that the Constitution of the United States is one thing, and the Constitution of the United States of America is a second thing. The official public office signed by Mr. Savastano after I was summarily put in jail with a police officer captain with no oath after I had warned this council 3 different times, and nothing was done except that there was some movement, but it didn't actually happen, and hence I spent 2 hours of my life locked up without due process and without proper authority. In suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall otherwise be re-examined in any court of the United States. There is no common law in the state of New Jersey today, unless there's one way to get it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nelson. All right, we're going to move into reports from the City Council. Dave, you want to start?
Yes, I received many calls over the last several weeks asking about rumors people are hearing, about speculation that people are hearing, and a lot of social media chatter about liquor licenses being issued automatically in Ocean City for hotels or motels which would have 100 or more rooms. Based on my understanding, those rumors and speculation are just not, they're unfounded and not clearly supported by law. Mr. President, I'd like the city solicitor to listen to my comments and verify that I am understanding the law correctly, if that's okay. Alcohol sales are currently prohibited by local ordinance number 8423 and have been since the founding of Ocean City 130 years ago. Building a large hotel doesn't automatically entitle the owner to a hotel license to sell alcohol in Ocean City, as the rumors seem to be going around town. The only way for, as I understand it, the only way for alcohol to be legal in Ocean City would be for this city council to amend ordinance 8423 that prohibits the sale of alcohol and provide the ability of a qualified applicant to be able to apply for a liquor license. Of course, the owner would have to meet all the local and state requirements to hold a liquor license. In New Jersey towns that already have liquor licenses, the number of liquor licenses is based on the population, usually roughly around 1 license for every 3,000 people or so. Not totally sure. I think that's about the number. An exception to that rule, and I think this is where the confusion comes in, is that a municipality may issue, not automatically, but may issue an exception to someone who holds a Class C hotel license with a minimum of 100 rooms, if and only if the town has already exceeded the limit on the number of liquor licenses they can. So they can make an exception for a hotel if they've already maxed out the number of liquor licenses based on their population. Municipality, I don't believe, is required to issue any liquor license. Of course, this doesn't apply to Ocean City because we don't even have a liquor license. We never have. License never have. Since Ocean City has no liquor licenses and never had, the talk of the 100-room hotel automatically getting a license is not grounded in law, but in rumor and speculation. And again, only this city council, not the mayor, only us, the 7 of us, would be able to amend the ordinance which prohibits the sale of alcohol. I know I would never amend it. As long as I'm around, I would never vote to have alcohol in Ocean City. And then finally, the other chatter going around is about the boardwalk from 14th to 6th Street. It's an on-boardwalk zone, and it doesn't allow hotels to be built. Only stores, restaurants, and amusements. So any change to that zoning would have to come either through this council, not by the mayor, or the use variance by the zoning board. And I got this information, Ms. Solicitor, from New Jersey law, NSA 33-1, Title 13, Chapter 2, New Jersey Administrative Code, Ocean City Ordinance 8423, and Chapter 25, Article 200, Permitted Uses. That was my basis. So am I correct?
You're correct. And to boil it down, there's no automatic right for liquor license.
Okay.
There would be several hurdles someone would have to clear in order to get a liquor license for any purpose in in Ocean City.
Okay.
And it would be this body that would have the exclusive jurisdiction to consider such an application.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Donnie. Thank you, Dave. Jody, reports?
I had no reports, but since Dave brought it up, I guess maybe I'll ask a few of my questions. So would that vote be a 4-3 or a 5-2? And then my other question is would the mayor be able to veto whatever that vote may be? And then my third question would be, I heard the max of if the municipality meets its maximum issued licenses. Well, we have reached our max, which is 0. So, you know, I could see a little loophole to that kind of come in, you know, that way. So I'm just curious, you know, I didn't even think of any of this until I'm glad that he brought it up. So those are my questions to his report.
I believe it would be a 4-3 vote. The mayor could veto it, city council could override the veto. And the fact that 0 is the maximum is not accurate, because in theory, if you permitted liquor licenses, generally speaking, the number that could be issued in Ocean City would be based on population. And based on our population, whatever the math is, that would give you the maximum number of licenses. But if you decided to permit the issuance of liquor licenses, you could issue one to a hotel because we're not at the max, because there is 0 and there's some number of liquor licenses that could be granted based on population, or you could create liquor licenses based on population and then grant another one for a hotel. But it would, another hurdle that I think would have to be addressed is that most, if not all, of the properties in Ocean City are deed restricted against the sale of alcohol as well.
Sure.
So there's the zoning, there's the administrative code, and then somebody would have to grapple with the Ocean City Association restrictions against the sale of intoxicating liquors. So there's a lot of
Hurdles.
hurdles.
How do we verify the 4-3 or 5-2?
I believe it's 4-3. I can check that out.
Okay.
5-2 is the exception, has to do with bond ordinances,
Okay.
things like that, but I can confirm that.
Appreciate it.
Keith?
Now it's come up, I'm 100% against it, always has been, always will be. I don't want it in 100 years, 200 years. The only thing I've ever said is I'd prefer any hotels under 100 rooms, so I never have to worry about it for generations to come, and that's my thought on it. So that's where I'm at. Because zoning is, what little I know about zoning, and it's always changing. Everything's 20 or 30 years down the road, so now's the time, no matter what. And I agree with everything that was said, and it's been that way. You still make it that it's not possible in the future. That's what I would stand by.
Sean?
No reports, but I will comment on this topic. I was actually stopped on the way over here. I walked over here from my house, and I was stopped by a neighbor asking me these same questions. There's several hurdles, and number one probably being, are we going to build a 100-unit hotel? So we don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I'm glad that Dave brought up these points and Dottie helped verify them. It's great to see the passion and hear the passion, but what concerns me is, especially with social media, is probably 95% of what you hear is just not correct. But I'm glad to hear that our constituents are actively thinking about this, and we have had some correspondence sent to us as a council asking us to be engaged, and we are engaged. We're residents of this town. We are talking about these issues. These issues are really important to us. So that's it for me. Okay?
Tony?
Well said, Sean. No other.
Yeah.
Terry? Okay. All right, excuse me, we're going to move into the approval of minutes. Can I have a motion to adopt the regular city council meeting minutes of Thursday, August 22nd, 2024?
So moved, Winslow. Second.
Okay, Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes.
Mr. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. Lovechuck?
Yes.
Mr. Pulcini?
Yes.
Mr. Winslow?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes. We have our first ordinance of the night, ordinance 2411. Can I have a motion to introduce ordinance 2411 on first reading?
So moved.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes.
Mr. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. Lovechuck?
Yes.
Mr. Pulcini?
Yes.
Mr. Winslow?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 2411. A bond ordinance appropriating $6,300,000 and authorizing the issuance of $5,985,000 in bonds and notes of the City of Ocean City for the various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the City of Ocean City, New Jersey.
Thanks, Melissa. Good evening, council, members of the public. Tonight's first reading of a bond ordinance 2411 for $6.3 million. Section 3, which happens to be page 3 of your ordinance, is where you'll find the details of what is being funded by this ordinance. There's two sections, A and B. A is improvement by construction and reconstruction of boardwalk projects for $3 million. The $3 million is basically grant matches for two different grant-funded projects that we plan on tackling this off-season. First of which, the city received great news from the Department of Community Affairs that we qualified for a $4.8 million boardwalk grant, along with some other shore communities that's been in the news lately, which requires a 50% match of $2.4 million. These funds primarily will go towards redoing the north end section of the boardwalk between St. Charles and 5th Street, with no widening, by the way, so just want to get that out of the way. Another partially grant-funded project that this ordinance provides the city match for would be to completely redo the Moreland Terrace ramp at the street end. We have about $500,000 in community development block grant to put towards this project, and then that combined with the matching funds in this ordinance and some existing capital funds would give us the ability to complete these projects, like I said, in the off-season.
And just one other thing, Chris Terry, is the hardwood is staying, unless we have to fix some of the under. So from St. Charles to whatever, where the lifeguard station is all fresh wood. So, but where the hardwood is, all that kind of stuff, we're not touching, unless we have to get underneath it. So when he says fit to St. Charles, I just don't want everybody thinking.
It would just be the top, you're saying?
If we do it, I said, if anything under the hardwood infrastructure has to be done, we'll do that. The rest of it will be taken on.
Thanks, Mayor. And as the mayor alluded to in his opening remarks, Section B of the ordinance is the acquisition of properties known as 812 Central Avenue and 820 Central Avenue. These are two of the three parking lots that are out back of this building that are adjacent and contiguous to the city parking lot behind the building known as the Crown Bank Building, or 801 Asbury. When that building was purchased, all three parking lots were part of the purchase. A recent subdivision has divided those parking lots basically into three parcels. The city has been approached and is under agreement to buy two of those three parcels. So these, like I said, are the two that are contiguous with the city lot out back of City Hall. They're both 6,500 square feet. They provide about 44 parking spaces, so 22 each, that would add to the roughly 71 parking spots that are out back now behind City Hall, for a total of 115 parking spaces available to the downtown. And then the other lot on the corner would stay with the property at 801 Asbury, and that's another lot of about 12,000 square feet. So this ordinance would have a second reading 2 weeks from tonight. And the ordinance also, beyond being a traditional bond ordinance, Section 11 does give certain city officials, including the mayor, the city administrator, the clerk, and the city attorney, the powers to carry out the closing on these properties as far as land acquisition is concerned. So, any questions, I'll be around.
Great, thank you, Frank. Thank you. Go to city council comments or questions, Dave? Jody?
No, it's great news.
Keith?
Excellent news, thank you, Mr. President.
Sean?
No.
Tony?
No.
Terry? No. I have no questions. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2411 on first reading and introduction?
So moved, Arts.
Second, Winslow.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes.
Mr. Hartzell?
Yep.
Mr. Lovechak?
Yes.
Mr. Pulcini?
Yes.
Mr. Winslow?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes, second reading and public hearing will be held on Thursday, September 26th, 2024, and will be published according to law. Can I have a motion to introduce ordinance 2412 on first reading?
So moved, Hartzell.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes.
Mr. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. Lovechak?
Yes.
Mr. Pulcini?
Yes.
Mr. Winslow?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2412, an ordinance authorizing an agreement to lease space at 801 Asbury Avenue, Ocean City, New Jersey.
Council, you've already approved one lease for the police department while the public safety building is under construction. and that lease would authorize the police operations, or some of them, to be conducted at 801 during the construction. This ordinance would do the same for part of the municipal court operations on a different floor in a different space on the second floor of this building. They would go there. The proposal is for our municipal court hearings to be conducted through a shared services agreement with Summers Point over in Summers Point Court building, but the actual staff would be housed in 801 during the interim period while construction goes on. So by approving this ordinance, you're approving the lease that's attached to the ordinance for court operations.
Thank you. Any questions, Terry?
Nope.
Tony?
No question.
Sean?
No question.
Keith?
I'm good, thank you.
Jody?
Good, thank you.
Dave? Great. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2412 on first reading?
So moved, Hartzell.
Second.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes.
Mr. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. Lovchuck?
Yes.
Mr. Polchini?
Yes.
Mr. Winslow?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes, second reading and public hearing will be held on Thursday, September 26, 2024, and will be published according to law. Can I have a motion to introduce ordinance 2413 on first reading?
Yes.
Second.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes.
Mr. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. Lovchuck?
Yes.
Mr. Polchini?
Yes.
Mr. Winslow?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 2413, an ordinance authorizing the City of Ocean City to acquire block 611.11, lots 161 and 162, and block 3600, lots 4 and 4.01, Ocean City, New Jersey.
The folks who own these lots have come forward and asked if the city would accept them as gifts, via deed. The lots for 161 and 162 in block 61111 are part of vacated Wesley Avenue, south of 29th Street, where it dead ends. So they're beach and dune lots. And lots 4 and 4.01 are oceanward of vacated Wesley Avenue. So these folks have been paying taxes, nominal taxes, but taxes on these properties for years, and they don't want to do any anymore. They realize that the properties can't be developed. So they're offering them to the city. In order for the city to accept a gift of real estate, it must be done by ordinance. That's why it's before you.
Thank you, Don. Terry, questions? No. Tony?
No questions.
Sean?
No question.
Keith?
I'm good, sir, thank you.
Jody?
I'm good.
Dave?
No, you can tell they're not buildable lots there, so I walk by there every day. It's good that we can put on our rolls, not theirs.
Great. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2413 on first reading and introduction?
So moved, Hartzell.
Second.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes.
Mr. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. Lovchuck?
Yes.
Mr. Polchini?
Yes.
Mr. Winslow?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes, second reading and public hearing will be held on Thursday, September 26, 2024, and will be published according to law. On to the consent agenda. All resolutions listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. If the mayor or any council person wishes a particular resolution to be considered separately, it will be removed from the consent agenda. Anything to be removed? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes.
Mr. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. Lovchuck?
Yes.
Mr. Polchini?
Yes.
Mr. Winslow?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes. Moving to pending business. Terry?
Nothing pending.
Tony?
Nothing pending.
Sean?
Nothing pending.
Keith?
Yes, if you haven't heard by now, I'm having a Ward 2 meeting for, my constituents at 10 a.m. at Tabernacle Baptist Church at 8th and West. It is not a forum for any particular subject. It has a full agenda that will talk about zoning issues, parking issues, quality of life issues. But anything that anybody wants to discuss, there'll be an open period to do so. We're making the meeting as accessible as possible in that you can attend live. It's on Zoom. You can contact me through my cell phone or look on social media. It's everywhere. Or you can certainly email me for the Zoom address. It's also going to be on Facebook Live. It will also be filmed and it will be up on my YouTube channel within 10 hours after that. So the reason why I did that is I don't want people from Pennsylvania to have to drive down. People that might have something else to do, they can watch it later. I want to try to make these ward meetings as accessible as possible. And I want everybody to participate in my ward. If you pay taxes, you're a property owner, you're a stakeholder. In fact, without second homeowners, we'd be in a world of trouble. And as always, everyone's invited from all over the island. Obviously, some things will be discussed that could affect you, and everybody up here is invited as well. So again, if you can, if you Zoom in, that's great. If you want to show up in person, that's great. Facebook Live, however you want to do it, we want you to attend and have your voice heard.
Jody? pending
We're also
notice.
going to have satellite dishes and all kinds of other broadcasting tools to get Councilman.
This is how it starts. See, you know, I mean, in July, in July, I want to have a ward meeting, right? Long before any of this other stuff that's being discussed. A simple ward meeting on Zoom. This is the problem. He's the problem. He's going to go on Facebook later. There's going to be like 80 traffic cops out there. You know, ESPN will be there. I thought there was a football game. Who knows what it's going to turn into?
Jody, you good?
That's
Pending
where the
business?
I'm good,
is.
thank
There
you.
go. Dave, pending business. All right, new business, Dave.
Facebook.
Jody, new business.
Still good.
Keith,
I'm fine.
Sean,
Nothing.
Tony.
I'm still getting over Facebook Live, but no.
Yeah, all right, Terry.
I'm good.
All right.
Real quick, with the gentleman
It's free.
about 29th Street, all that kind of stuff, we have talked to the chief, and he's going to, I think he left.
Okay.
We're going to put a program together statewide, because it does go in pockets, so, but, and we can handle it. And we're not pointing the finger to the governor. I think we said that the last couple of years, is we would like the governor or the AD, I'm gonna stop saying the governor, but the attorney general, I'd love to do stuff, but we have the staff and we have the people to take care of our citizens. So we're not pointing fingers anywhere but ourselves.
Thank you. All right, we're going to open it back up to citizen comment. Unfortunately, you cannot talk on a topic you've already talked about if you've talked, but we're going to open up to this side of the room. Frank, come on up.
Good evening, everybody. Don't touch this. My name is Frank Worrell, 3307 Simpson Avenue, Ocean City. Keith, you're certainly raising the bar for ward meetings. Are you going to have donuts? I mean, I like donuts, but, okay.
See, this is how it starts.
Being serious.
Bring your own donut.
Hey, I got the floor now. No. Being serious, I come here tonight to ask you, council, to support my friends and neighbors on their task of moving the Verizon tower out behind the ball field in the marsh. I applauded the planning board. They voted 8-0 against better judgment to turn it down. These people have been fighting for a long time, and I think that's a perfect place for it, and I'd like to see it consummated and put to bed, and I'd like to be able to walk down the street and know that all my friends and neighbors, and we all can look you in the eye and feel that you did the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank. Anybody else this side of the room? See none this side of the room. Anybody for public comment? Nelson, go ahead.
Nelson, Tribe of Asher, Central Avenue. One of my prized possessions is an NYPD hat. When I put this on, it makes me look like I have authority. In Ocean City, this hat has no jurisdiction. If I'm in the city of New York, it does have some. The city of Summers Point judge said about a month ago, there's 6 trespassing charges. It's in a commercial private court. I went through one court process just to see what would happen. When I attempted to bring anything into the court, it did not matter. I wore this outfit. He threatened contempt numerous times for certain things I said or did. I asked him, will that be civil contempt or criminal contempt? He refused to answer my question at every turn. Since I've been banned for life by Judge Freed from St. Peter's United Methodist Church, which I am currently a member of the Methodist Church at Worldwide and at St. Peter's, I humbly ask that this council not allow any public events to happen at St. Peter's. For example, first night. If I were to purchase a button, which my family was involved in the founding along with some other people of First Night, contributing time, money, talent, I would like St. Peter's to be banned until such time as they remove the restriction of me attending my home church. The next thing I'd like to talk about is a little bit off topic. I think that we could, when we have the dogs on the boardwalk, that weekend, I think we might want to consider having some other animals like horses on the beach, things of that nature, to improve tourism. An additional comment would be the leaf blowing still hurts my ears. The weed whacking. Is there any way, someone told me that up in North Jersey, they've banned all powered, one must rake. I don't know how they're doing it, but they said that's what has happened. So I implore us to revisit my request, which is go to muffled electric. And even if we have to subsidize, give them a time limit, 5 years from now. So when it wears out. The next comment I would like to talk about is the fact that Ocean City is polished. It's an exciting place to be. However, there is some question in my mind about overuse of authority. Regarding the New Jersey Constitution, what does the word W-A-R spell? War. What does the word R-A-N-T spell? Rant. Well, guess what? Put the two words together, and what do we get? A war rant. So when a war rant is issued, war is being made upon someone. There better be a good reason. Finally, I want to discuss the spirituality of people. I want to encourage everyone to consider going deeper. Two things. One is, I asked the Lord about this preacher used to always make a joke when he would start his sermon, and I said, "What, is that okay with you?" He woke me up and said, "Kidding is lying." So kidding, sarcasm, we need to have pure speech if we claim Christian faith. And I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else inside of the room? Yes, sir.
George Tudhill, Central Avenue. This is in reference to the DEP and Governor Murphy's Executive Order 100. I watched the Cape May County officials and business representatives video in response to Murphy's stranglehold plan in Cape May on September 6th. My takeaways are these. Supposedly, the DEP can now predict 5-foot rising sea level 70 plus years from now. Who'd have thought that? You know, it's climate change. B, there are 3 evacuation routes out of Cape May County, Route 47 and 55 and the Garden State Parkway, none of which would provide dry access out of the county. The state is applying standards on municipalities that does not intend on following themselves. This was per Cape May County Manager Paul Dietrich, to quote him. There was a meeting on Executive Order 100 in Toms River, and this is as per Ray Cantor, Vice President of Government Affairs with the BIA. They had a meeting in Toms River, and the room that they used was half full. He continued to explain, you need to get the voice out because people in the towns do not know what's going on. On July 25th, I spoke out about executive order and offered some suggestions. Where are the Ocean City Ward meetings? The community get-together meetings to educate our citizens. A QR code listening to politicians is not educating the people of Ocean City, nor is it answering their questions. Are we going to wait and vote the Czar Murphy out of office, hoping for change? We know how much our vote counts, and we don't have time. Time is of the essence. We, the people, must be standing up. Executive orders are for emergencies. This is not an emergency. The governor is creating a takeover with the DEP. In the DEP's 1,057-page documents, it states the purpose is to, and I quote, force a retreat of residents from the shore towns, up and down the New Jersey coast, Delaware, Atlantic counties, Cape May counties. It's a managed retreat to make it harder to live in the city and coastal towns, up and down. I have a question. Is the pushing of executive order and the DEP's ambiguity and lack of transparency tied to Murphy's wind turbine push? Just asking. The governor did comment, quote, "We will have wind turbines no matter what." It's just a thought. If Ocean City is not going to hold Q&A ward meetings or town hall meetings, doing everything to educate the uninformed residents or neighborhoods, the elderly, those that have many questions, or those that have many generations of living here on the coast, may I suggest that, per the paper The Herald, the DEP will be holding a session on Tuesday, September 17th, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Woodbine Community Center at 812 Longfellow Street. It's open to the public. I'm pretty sure it won't be biased, right? By the way, Atlantic Shores is pushing forward with the plan to place their wind turbines off the Atlantic City coast and tying into offshore substations and existing substations in Egg Harbor Township, the area, Carter area. I have a 1,000+ page report on this project, and something I found out was a POI, everybody likes their acronyms, point of interconnection, a map containing the BL England site and the Corson Inlet area. That's interesting to me. By the way, Orsted is still in the background, lurking. Remember, Orsted still has ratepayers' money that Murphy allowed them to keep. Wind turbines are not a dead issue for our coast. Please pay attention. Thank you for allowing me to speak and listening.
Thank you very much.
Quickly, I have like 50 seconds, if that's okay. Off topic, Mayor, I spoke to your, what do you call her? She helped me out. We have a bench. My sister passed away and we have a placard. We spent over $900+. And she passed away of melanoma. And what I do is, not hand these out.
Here, I'll take them right. I'll take them all right here. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a small sticker representing melanoma. And all I do is put 1 or 2 on either side of the placard. And for the last 2 or 3 months, I put them up there and then I see them taken down. So I talked to the people going down the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they said, well, just let them know that you do that. Because a lot of people, I guess, putting flowers and stuff, and they leave them up there for 6, 7 months. I get that. All these are so small. That's why I gave it to you. They're small. They're nothing. So I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else from citizen comment this side of the room? All right, seeing none, I'm going to bring it back to the council table. We have a,
Just real quick, we're going to put stuff out. We're working with the county and the chamber and all that, so with the DEP stuff.
Yes.
We're going to try to send something to every house, so we're, whether with emails and all that kind of stuff. So between the business community and the county commissioners, I know Bobby Barr is heavy in this, along with Commissioner Desiderry and all that kind of stuff. But we are going to get the information out, so we're trying to get it so people can understand it, because like you said, this is huge. This isn't just Ocean City or Seashore. This is inland. And again, if you wanted to change your roof on your house, I mean, this is an important thing. And we just can't go out there. We just got to make sure we have the right information. But we are taking this very seriously. And I appreciate what the county commissioners are doing. So we'll get it out. Thanks, Steve.
thank you. All right, we have a closed session that we're going to go into. No action is going to be taken. But can I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Nope. All right. Thank you. Have a good night.